Chairing the meeting today on behalf of Brian Travis, who is not here, and my colleague Sheila Vaccaro, and this is the Administration Communication Technology Committee meeting for Tuesday, March the 11th, beginning at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Are there any announcements? Okay. Seeing none, let's move to item 2, comments, suggestions, petitions by residents in attendance regarding items not on the agenda.
Darrell Cook, South Walnut Street. I repeat the request made to the Tree Commission. I'd like the street tree in front of 506 South Walnut Street removed. I've got a new reason after hearing last month's meetings. It's blocking my view. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Darrell. Appreciate it. All right, let's go to the reports. This is the monthly CISO report.
Typically, I do these quarterly, so for each month now, we're just going to have it here if there's any questions about anything. But I will just go through it real quickly, super duper quickly. But so in next month, there'll be a quarterly report, which will cover all 3 months. Going down here, I'll go. So as I do in the quarterly report, I kind of note in each month things that the IT department does that is not a project and that is not a help desk ticket. These are things that come into the office that don't meet those descriptions. And there's a whole bunch of fun stuff here. Be helpful, write the notes. I kind of put on here right now, meeting management. These are projects that we're working on right now. We're doing some workstation upgrades, some Windows 11 upgrades, mobile device management. We're going to be starting that shortly. We're working on the security access for the parking garage. This is going to have the same access cards we use in the borough building. We'll be able to manage it from here. We're just waiting for the parts to get in. And we're in the early stages of the agenda and meeting management service. I had a kickoff meeting later in last month in February. And we've been working on some preliminary tasks as we get ready to build this new exciting agenda meeting center that all of us will be using. I'll have some news on the audio upgrades for the council chambers, I hope next month. We're doing penetration testing in April, which is how we test the network for security, internal and external. And we're going to start building out our co-pilot integration with staff. We're going to get a small team to explore that next month. This project assist, we're working with the finance department, adding ACH connection to their Abilla software, working with the police department and being part of their Axon upgrade, which is the body cams and the car cameras with Lieutenant Dietz. He's working with the IT department. Some training that we attended in February. It was a busy month. Interesting one was we attended a water and wastewater security threat briefing. We go to that once a month now. Report back to Sean Mitchell on that. And then Nicole last month actually asked me a question no one had really ever asked me, and that is what kind of views or listeners do we get on our meetings on YouTube and Facebook. So here I'm going to start including those numbers each month, and you can see over here I included January and February, and you can see the views on our YouTube channel of these meetings. Surprisingly, ACT is not usually one of the most popular ones. I don't know why that is. I'm working on that. And the Facebook streams are even more so. These are typically people watching the videos afterwards. They stay up on their Facebook page. And then my favorite section is the cybersecurity section. That's why it has 24 pages of numbers and statistics that I don't want to bore you with. It's always exciting. I always do a page on our phishing test for the staff. They usually perform very well. I can put on there the lessons that we learned and how we did. Our training initiatives are very important. Cybersecurity Friday and Cybersecurity Daily podcast. We moved over to Apple Podcast this month. That was very exciting. So you can download the Cybersecurity Daily podcast on your iPhone. Very exciting. And then the basic help desk numbers. Unscheduled events, these are bad. You always wanted to see it say 0. That means Jeffrey or I got called in at 3 in the morning. Something unusual. And I get a quick snapshot of our budget. One quick thing about the budget I do on here, because it has scared people before, is anything I have that's contractual, or monthly services that I know what they're going to be, I put them in the budget right away. That gives me a good idea of what we have to work with. So the budget could seem really high in the beginning of the year, but that's because I'm planning it out for the entire year. So that's a quick snapshot of what I do quarterly. So any questions for me? Hit me with it.
I don't have any questions.
Thank you.
Any public? Thank you, Bill. Appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks,
All
guys.
right. Old business. I don't see any old business here. New business. Motion to approve the lease between SEPTA and Westchester Borough.
Yeah, this item has been reviewed by the solicitor, and I won't speak for Westchester Railroad, but they were involved in that, in the review of the lease between the borough and SEPTA, and as well as of course, the sublease between the borough and Westchester Railroad to operate the tourist train. This sets up a new 15-year lease, corrects some of the logistic differences of location since the geography has changed since the last time this lease was produced. And I would invite the Westchester Railroad to make comment on that too, since they were pushing for this longer term lease for certain reasons.
Any comment?
Derek Slifer, Westchester Railroad. Just a few comments. I want to thank Mr. Metrick, Ms. Camp for helping us out with this process. It's been a very long process that, we've gone back and forth a lot. Everything in both of the sublease and the lease with SEPTA, we're happy with. And I can't speak for Mr. Metrick or Ms. Camp, but we seem to all be in agreement with everything. And we look forward to another 15 years. We have lots of things on our docket that we're going to be doing in the next couple of years as far as track and maintenance work. And we're looking forward to having the opportunity to do that.
Thank you. I don't have any questions. You have any questions? All right. We could call that a 2-0 decision. Motion to approve sublease between Westchester Borough and Westchester Railroad. We could look at that 2-0 again. Thank you, gentlemen. Item C, motion to approve disposal of records, Westchester Police Department.
I can speak on this. This is a normal process. So whenever you want to get rid of physical records, you have to go through this process that's governed by the Pennsylvania Historical Museum Commission of all things. And there's different lengths of time which you have to hold certain records for, and you've got to look up the record and make sure you're not disposing of something before it's time. Certain records you can't dispose of at all, and those typically are legal matters and records of borough council. But other than that, most records have an expiry date, and so the police are just trying to clear out some of their space, because we do pay for the storage of these paper records, and if we don't need them, then we need to get permission from council to shred them.
Are these records then put on digital?
In this case, no.
Okay. And we've done this before, I believe. I think last year. Okay. Any questions? Any public comment? Call this a 2-0 decision. Item D, discuss process to become a certified master plumber and International Code Council certification for specialized trades under Borough Code.
Yeah, just real quick, I'm going to stand up here because I did spend some time researching this, and I want to address some of the things that I heard at the last month's meeting. The gentleman who came and spoke to us about the trouble he was having with his property and how it presumably was adding cost, and the uniqueness of the borough's requirement that subcontractors who do electric, mechanical, and plumbing have to be independently certified by the International Code Council. The borough is unique in requiring tradespeople to be certified by the International Code Council. But the International Code Council is a very common organization that sets standards for which all commercial and residential buildings have to abide by. And in the Commonwealth, the Pennsylvania Uniform Construction Code is derived from all these standards that the International Code Council comes up with. And it's a bunch of people who know how to build buildings and know what's safe. And they sit around every couple of years and they review these standards and update them to stay up with changes in technology and building practices to make sure that new construction remains safe. So our codes, the codes to which contractors have to build to, are up to date and up to standards. And it is our building inspector and inspectors, because we do contract with third parties, are the ones that go out and enforce these codes. So if they go to a site and there's something that hasn't been properly framed, that doesn't pass inspection, then they require the contractor to come back and fix it until it meets the code. Where Westchester Borough is unique is that we require the contractors to also get certification through ICC that they are competent trade people. And what that means is essentially they have to pass a test and score 70% or higher on that test to be certified by the International Code Council. The way we enforce that is there needs to be one person at the company that passes this test. It doesn't necessarily mean that that's the people doing the work or the person supervising the work. We just look for somebody in that company that has passed that ICC test. I really think the most important thing about all of this is that we have qualified building inspectors who are going into the property and making sure things are built to code. And when I did check I did check all of 50, I took a sample of 50 Chester County municipalities through our online general code provider, and we did not find any in Chester County that required tradespeople to be certified through ICC. And furthermore, I took a deeper dive into about 11 municipalities that neighbor Westchester area. Some of them are Westtown Township, Euclid Township, West Bradford, just to name 3. And none of the 11 that I looked at required International Code Council certification of tradespeople. They all did it similarly in that they required contractors to be registered with the state and pay a fee of it ranged anywhere from $50 to $125 a year to remain registered with the township. They also had to demonstrate that they carried workers' compensation insurance and general liability insurance should anything go wrong. And I circulated an opinion of our BCO in a document to members of the committee, and I would just summarize it that he's supportive of contractors being certified through ICC because they're, to paraphrase just one good argument I think he made in his response, there's a continuum of workmanship. Somebody can do a really good job or somebody can do a really bad job and still pass code. And he thinks that people who are certified through ICC tend to do better work, and that's a good thing for everybody involved. And if I'm paraphrasing Paul's response, but I represented it to you word for what he sent me. So that was the work that we've done on this issue since last month. And I just wanted to share with you that information so that the committee could ponder it, make a recommendation, or discuss it at the work sessions.
Thank you. Any comments?
I appreciate the information. It feels awkward to be the lone municipality requiring this. However, I do not see this as a detriment to our community. I believe this is an asset, and being a leader sometimes means being different, and sometimes that's not a bad thing.
I'm in agreement, Mr. Metric, and I think that what Paul stated here is basically the cost is going to be minimum. However, the craftsmanship that's associated could be obviously better with that. So I'm fine leaving it as is based upon the Building and Housing and Codes recommendation as well. Is any public comment? All right, seeing none, we could, I guess, a 2-0 decision for that moving forward. Item E, approve the February 2025 minutes. Any objections? Any comments? We call that approved. And we apologize, adjourn here and at 5:45.